Welcome, everybody. My name is Mina Jane. I'm one of the programming librarians at the Cary Library. And as I said a minute ago, we're here for trimming your own hair with Dominique Fortin, who is a wonderful hairdresser who was here last month with us, giving us hints on trimming your children's hair. So as you can see, I'm in ponytail mode, as I see some of you are, because it's just that's where we're at. So we're very pleased to be bringing you this program. I wanted to let you know we are recording the program. It will be on our YouTube channel. We are streaming it live on Facebook. And Dominique sent me a bunch of links, so I will share those with you after the program. So feel free to add your questions to the chat, and I will give them to Mary Ellen as we go. So Dominique is a stylist at Station8 Salon in Jamaica Plain. She's been creating Facebook hair tutorials for the Dedham Public Library since the pandemic began. And as you probably know, if you were here last time, she's also an educator for the people she's also an educator for hair care. So we're really, really pleased to have her here. So I'm gonna turn it over to her. She can tell you a little bit more about herself and the work that she's gonna do today. Hello, Dominique.
Hi. Don't mind my kitchen, first of all. So I work at Station8 Salon in Jamaica Plain. I've been a hairstylist for 19 years. I'm an in-salon educator for the people at my salon, and I'm also certified in curly hair and in affinage color. We're not doing color today, but so I thought today we could, I'm gonna actually move my computer so we can see what we're gonna do. I don't know if everyone can see that. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, awesome. So I thought a couple things we can do today is like face framing layers that will carry to the back of your head. So it's the easiest way to trim your ends without putting your hair in a ponytail and just cutting the bottom. It is a little more difficult to obviously to try to cut the back of your hair, but this is the easiest way to do it. Then I was going to show, if anyone's interested, I have a curly haired mannequin and just do a similar thing. It's a little different, but it's a way to debulk your hair, which that's like more, I feel more curly haired people are like, I don't care about the length, I just need it debulked. And then if we wanted to try something a little trickier, we could do shag bangs, which are like, I don't want to say all the rage, but people really want them. And I can show you like a at-home shag bang that is like a little more presentable. I have a pixie shag, which, you know, I look a little Rod Stewart-y, but that's the look I'm going for. So yeah, let's start with long layers, if that's cool with everyone. Obviously, if you have any questions, stop me. And I will tell you some of the tools that I'm using. All right, so scissors, if you're cutting your own hair, don't use kitchen scissors. Spend like $30 on Amazon and get some scissors. Kitchen scissors or nail clippers, they're gonna just give you split ends and destroy your hair. So even if you don't have, even if you have a side part, if you wanna just do a middle part always, and how to find a middle part is just to go to the bridge of your nose and then just part it. Mannequins aren't always as cooperative as I want them to be, but. And I'm going to talk about this comb for like 1 second. You can get these combs, everything's on Amazon. It's like I work for Amazon. These are carbon combs. Most combs have thinner teeth and wider teeth. When you're cutting your own hair, only use wider teeth because it's more forgiving. If you use smaller teeth, you're going to see every single mistake you've made. So if you use wider teeth, you're not going to really see any mistakes. So what did I do? Oh, my clips are right here. These are butterfly clips. Again, you can get them on Amazon. Why I like to use these when you're cutting your own hair is they're chunkier, and so they're going to hold more hair. And so this is it's actually a plant mister, but it works really well for wetting hair down instead of a spray bottle. And also you can do this on, I wouldn't say sopping wet hair, but like towel dried hair is pretty good. I know, like when I did the kids tutorial, I was like, just make sure your hair is the wettest it can be. With this stuff, it doesn't have to be super duper wet. Until we do those shag bangs, then that's a different story. I curled her before, so she looked a little nicer than, or a little more put together than just a mannequin.
She's lovely.
She's lovely. Her name is Deborah.
Yeah.
So when you're cutting your own hair, always start off with less hair. You can always take more off. You cannot put it back on. So when you start, you're going to go right to the back of your ear. And then you're going to pull that hair forward. And you're going to clip that out. You don't want any of this yet. I'm going to do that on the other side as well.
How can you tell you're doing it right if you're doing it to yourself? Like,
so as long as you are in a middle part, so you follow the part from your nose, right? Her part's actually, well, it's sewn in to not be a middle part. And you just literally follow the line to the back of your ear. Like you're sort of just making a T section.
Okay.
And just clip everything out of the way that you don't want. And this is what I'm about to show you is like the trickiest part of all of this. Because you have to pull the hair in front of your face. That's why I'm like, make sure that you only start off with a little bit of hair. So you're literally going to pull everything that's not clipped directly in front of your face. I'm going to say this a million times. Mannequin stands are the worst things ever created, and she will move around the whole time. So you're pulling every single thing in front of your face. So this is the worst part. Can you see? Yeah. So everything's in front of your face. It will automatically make this sort of oval U shape because you're pulling everything forward. Then you're going to find where you want to cut, which where I want to cut on this gal is probably like, I don't know, that's like, I'm being generous. That's like 2 inches. And then you just cut. And that's the hardest part of all of that. And then Now you have like this nice little layer. And then you're gonna take, all right, so I was saying this in everything in hairdressing is a pie section. And for what like is happening with this haircut, it's definitely just a pie section because we're just cleaning up your ends, right?
I guess the question is, Dominique, again, how do you know that you're doing it right if you're doing it on yourself? How do you know you're getting those pies?
So I'll show you how to get those.
Okay. We do have
It is going to be in like, we're probably going to do this in probably about 6 sections. And
okay.
literally like, if you think of your head as a pie, you know, the top of your head is a circle. So it's just those pieces coming forward, these pieces coming forward, and those pieces coming forward. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So now you're going to, you already have your, what we call it, your guide, right? So now you're going to pull these pieces forward. And you, Deborah, come on. You're going to pull them forward and then you're going to connect the dots. So you can see where you cut right there. You're literally just going to do that. And then you're going to get to the back section of your hair. Like, so what was that? That was, yeah, 3 sections on each side. So 3 sections on each side. If you have a lot of hair, you can maybe do like 4 sections. I wouldn't just do 2. I wouldn't just pull it all the way forward. And then you're going to do the same, but you're always going to like hold all the hair together. Pull it forward. As long as you have that line. Let's see, sorry. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
Okay. So as long as you have that line that you're following from that, then your haircut, like literally your haircut is just done. Now you have long layers and everything is trimmed. I'm going to do this side and then I'll show you what it looks like when I turn it around.
Dominique, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Will you also, I think you answered this to me earlier, but will you show how to layer your hair so that you have more fullness at the crown? And
Yeah.
can you also comment on how to cut a straight trim on long hair? I think that's what you're doing, right?
So this is actually creating a little bit of this is creating a touch of a layer.
Okay.
Because anytime you pull something back or forward, you're going to create a layer. If you're doing it straight back, that's doing a straight haircut on yourself is actually the hardest thing because you can't see the back of your head. Like I could show you how to do it, but I mean, I'll show you how to do it, but you're gonna need someone you really trust to help you.
Well, let's do the stuff that we had talked about so that, and if we have time, we can get to that.
Yeah, that's like that's not, it seems like that's the easiest thing to do, but it can go wrong real fast.
Were you going to do anything about for short hair, like using clippers or trimming?
So the short hair with clippers, okay, on a little kid, I would be like, you know, yeah, do it. On yourself, I would not recommend doing clippers. I would say that if you have like short hair like mine, doing a short haircut on yourself is not like, I do not even pretend to cut my hair. Like that's long hair is so much more forgiving. Short hair, you kind of either have to like, you just got to go to a salon. I mean, to be honest, I feel like if I showed you, I then would be like, and then never do this to yourself.
Oh, that's fine. It was just a question. So
I'm going to say, if you have a pixie, other than cleaning it up around your ears, which then just gives you a mullet, I wouldn't try it at home.
okay, thank you.
So this is like the same, the same deal, right? We're just finding where we cut that first piece in the front, which is right there. Let me do it again so you can see. And then my hand's sort of in the way. So I'll just do this side and then we'll talk about, because I don't know if you can see, because I'm right-handed. But then we'll talk about fullness. Does this seem like, in terms of like creating a little bit of a layer in your hair and getting the dead ends off, does this seem like something that is sort of, that doesn't feel super scary and feels like it's doable?
I think so. We'll have to see how everybody looks in a few weeks.
So if you have any scraggly pieces, you can just do the same thing, pull it forward and just clean up those scraggly pieces. Because you won't always catch every single hair. Like I just missed that. But it really is just about pulling it forward and cutting it, and don't put your hair in a ponytail and cut it, because it will just be so uneven. I know, like I'm seeing that a lot in the salon where people are coming in for haircuts and they were like, I couldn't handle my ends. And then I'm like, oh no, did you put it in a ponytail? And they were like, yeah.
So if you're saying it's layered at this point, does that just mean it's longer in the back?
Yeah, so that's all layers are, right? So it is like shorter in the front. So now you have face framing layers. And then she's wet, so I don't know if you can see, but you've cleaned up all of your length. And now you have a little layer going on here. And so that's just going to create, it's not going to create fullness. It's going to create a little movement. It's not going to feel like you just chopped up the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are feeling like braver and braver, you can just go shorter and shorter in the front, but just know that it's going to create more of a layer as it goes back.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, what were you going to say?
We do have some interest about the short hair. Maybe we can do another session on short hair, but this one is about if you have short hair and you're just cleaning up around your neck, is that still something somebody else would have to do?
So yes, it is really difficult to clean up the back of your neck in a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if I have anyone in my life on a Wednesday that has short hair that I could show. I mean, I could definitely try to show it on a mannequin. It's really hard.
Yeah.
That's all I can say, is that I can definitely show you in like maybe next time, but it's really, really hard. Like it would be easy to like, maybe clean up like around your ear, but definitely anything in the back I wouldn't recommend it. It's just
Okay.
like I wouldn't recommend coloring your hair at home.
We do have a question. Marita, did you raise your hand? Yeah,
Yep.
you have to, Marita, you have to unmute. Okay.
I didn't really have a question, but if you look at my hair, it's short, curly, and my husband does the back, but I try to just layer the top.
The front. Yeah.
I think I can make a lot of mistakes on it.
So I'll show you, it's actually not that, layers are all the same. It just is how short. So I can show you how, I'm going to show you how to layer long hair, and then you can think of it as, actually I have a shorter mannequin, about how to do your hair. And I think maybe in another class, I could really find someone. I could see if
Okay.
someone.
I'm volunteering.
Come on over to Quincy and I'll open all the windows and cut your hair.
Okay, and one more thing. Miriam says, last time you said to keep the natural part, but this time you're saying to part in the middle, even if there's a side part?
So with this, yes, keep the middle part. When you flip it to the side, all it's going to do is add a bit of a layer. So it will like sort of give you a little bit of that like asymmetrical layer stuff. On little kids, you want them, they don't have to be as like, I hate the word chic, but whatever. This is kind of fun. Like you can kind of make it where you have a little more volume on one side and flip it to the other. But especially if you're trying to clean up your ends and create a little movement, it's totally fine to have it flip to this, like to flip it back and forth and have a little bit of, we call it like a little bit of weight on one side or the other side. And I mean, certainly if you really wanted, if you have a really deep part and you wanted to cut it on the part, I would just be really, really careful. I would just do it in the middle and make your life easy.
Okay, that's what we're
when
looking
it gets
for.
into a little more, a little more finesse.
Mm-hmm. We're definitely looking for easy, so that's perfect. Thank you.
That is like, as she's drawing, you can sort of see. That's the easiest way to clean up your ends and get some movement in your hair.
Thank you.
And so if you wanted to get a little volume, right? So let's say you're like, you did this, and then you wanted to get a little volume. You don't even necessarily have to do this if you want to go to the next step and get volume. And the reason why I'm saying with doing this stuff at home and not having it be sopping wet the way we did with the kids' cuts is then you can sort of see what's happening in your hair as you're cutting it. So if you're like, I really want some volume in my hair, we're gonna do literally everything is gonna be the same. Like everything to do with at-home cutting is just a pie section. Just pretend the top of your head is a pumpkin pie and you're just pulling, you've cut it and you're just taking pieces out. So if you want to layer your hair and get some more volume, do the same thing where you go behind your ear and get that out of the way. That is not the stuff you want volume in, because you will look like Jennifer Aniston from Friends, which is not, I mean, it was a great haircut in 1994. It's not the best haircut in 2020. So again, like you're just going right behind your ear.
And then can you use rubber bands instead of clips?
Yeah, you totally can. I'll use I have a rubber band right here. Or you can braid this piece. to get it out of the way. But yeah, anything just to get those pieces out of the way.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna just spray her just a little bit because she got a little dry. Actually, you'll be able to see it better this way because I'm right-handed. So you're just pretending that's a piece of pie, and however far up you go is how high your layer is. So I would start off straight off the head. Like straight, like stand. I guess you're standing behind yourself, right? Because you're always standing behind yourself. And just go straight out and then make a cut. And then if you wanted your layers higher, you just keep going up. And you're always just cutting in a line. And if there's nothing left to cut, don't cut it. Like right there, that was the only thing I had to cut. So what that just did was that created a bunch of volume in your hair. So it really just depends. If you want a little bit of volume, you go straight out and then you just keep going up. And if you want the maximum amount of volume, you go straight up from the head. And I would start in small increments. So maybe start with like 1/4 of an inch. And then if you're feeling really brave and you really want a lot of layer, then you can take more off. But as long as you're just taking it straight from the head and deciding how much layer you want, and you're just cutting everything is in a pie section in a straight line. That's all except for curly hair. That's all like layers are. Layers sound so much scarier, but they're not.
So does that work for both short and long hair?
So yeah, so that would actually work if you needed to clean up like short hair. It is a little harder because short hair isn't as forgiving, right? Because there's not a lot to cut off, but you could definitely do that. The great thing with long hair is that when you get to the back of your head and do this, you're not doing, when you have more hair to work with. If you get to the back of your hair with short hair, like I can show you, you only have like that much hair, right? So
we actually can't see you because your head's cut off.
you only have a little bit of hair. So if you were to pull your hair, right, if you, like, let's say I wanted to layer, especially the back of my hair, and you pull your hair out, or then you're like, oh, I really want some height, you can create like an alfalfa moment in your life. So I'm really strongly recommending trying really hard to not cut short hair.
Okay.
I mean, you can definitely try it using this method, but you just have to be really careful.
Okay. So when you say, can you explain how the cutting the way that you said you did makes volume? Does that mean that the shorter pieces are on the top?
Yep, the shorter pieces are on the top. And so automatically you're going to get volume because you have shortness on the top, and then it cascades down to the long. Right. But what's kind of interesting, well, I think it's interesting about layers is, again, if you pull your hair out or up, everything is always going to be in a straight line because that's how you're cutting, is in a straight line. But yeah, it creates volume because the shorter pieces are at the top. There are some YouTube tutorials that I find personally offensive, where they say to just take the top of your hair and cut it. if you took just the top of your hair, like if you did this, I'll show you this is what you should never do, is to take the top of your hair and cut it, because then you've just given yourself a bowl cut on top of long hair. So don't do that. It's easier to go through with the pie section. And even in the back, when you're doing it, it's really, really forgiving. So even if you're taking a section in the back, and you don't really have to be like, when you go to a hair salon, we're super duper careful in terms of like width and angling and degrees. When you're doing it yourself, because you just want a little bit of layer, hopefully you're not going to do anything crazy. So it's okay if your sections are a little bigger. Like what I'm saying about doing this at home is don't do anything nuts. Like don't be like, I'm taking 4 inches off my hair for layers. Because that means you'll have like that much taken off on the top. So like literally even in the back, you're just holding, like, let's say she's looking in the mirror right now. You're just holding your hair straight off of your head and then cutting.
How can you do that in the back though? Because you have to lift it out, not up.
So, because when you're lifting it out, like you can still see what's going on in the mirror and then just do like one clip. Okay. You know what I mean? It's not like I keep saying it's forgiving, right? Because you're not taking so much hair off. The more hair you take off, the harder it's going to be. But if you're just giving yourself a little bit of a layer in the back, you're same with the sides, you're not really taking that much off, right? So you can see these little scraggly bits and cut them. You can also get someone that you love and trust to do the same thing. Or you don't even have to trust them, because it's not super duper hard. It is more difficult than what I showed you, just to clean up the bottom and get some movement.
So we could actually do like a different session on, having somebody you love and possibly trust cut your short hair.
Yes, we could.
Okay.
We could definitely do that.
Okay. So let's stick with the long-haired Deborah. Yeah. And keep going.
So, like, what else do people want to know about? I do have a curly hair that I want to do. I don't know if any of you have curly hair that are watching. But is there anything like you guys want to know about trimming up your ends, layering, like doing like, like those little face framing bangs that like everyone has now? Is there anything that anyone wants to know about this long-haired mannequin? Yes. Other than trying to cut a straight line on the bottom?
There is a question for how to cut a straight trim on long hair. Oh, no, we already did that one. Yeah. Okay, sorry. Let me see what about bangs? Face framing bangs. Everybody wants bangs.
So we have several kinds of bangs. We have long curtain bangs that I like to call fake bangs. I have some straight across bangs that we can do. And then we can also do a little bit of a layered bang. Now, she has been a bang mannequin for 4 times now. So I'm not cutting a lot off of her. I have to get another bang mannequin. But we can do, yeah. Do you guys want to do straight across, layered, and then maybe a little, like a little fringy bang?
Sure.
Yes.
Yes, all of those? Okay. We'll start with straight across because she already has straight across bangs. Okay. You want to wet them. This was what I was saying, with the exception of bangs and little kids' hair. You want to wet your bangs. With little kids, it's fine to use the fine part of the comb. With someone that has to be on a Zoom meeting every day, use the wide part of the comb. So you're gonna comb the bangs straight down. You're gonna turn them, comb that straight down. Can everyone see that?
Yep.
And then cut a straight line. And then you have straight across bangs. So they're not actually straight across. It's an optical illusion. They're actually a little shorter in the front, in the front, and they go off to the side, but they will appear straight across. Because if you're in the mirror and you're pulling your hair straight down and you're trying to do that, your hand is never going to do that. It's going to do that. So this is literally the easiest way. You just pull them down, twist them, pull that straight down, and then cut.
Would you recommend holding it straight up when you twist so that you can see it better?
No, hold it. Use your mirror. Yeah, if you held it straight up, you would have pieces that are much shorter on top and much longer on the bottom.
Okay.
So that's not what you want. Okay. So these are, actually her bangs are not straight across. I just did them. Just because sometimes you have to do them more than once to make sure. But with bangs, a little goes a long way. Like, do this method, like even if you have to do this method like 4 times to get the length that you want, do that. Don't go in one big hunk, because bangs will always pop up on you. And so it can be a disaster.
Okay.
So that's straight across bangs.
What is a shag bang? What does that mean?
So a shag bang, I have an extreme shag bang, but I'll show you like a really easy shag bang. It just means that your bangs are like right now, I'm trying to think of celebrities. Reese Witherspoon has shag bangs. So it means that they almost appear to have some separation in them, because they do have separation in them. And they're more of like a fringe. They more just like sit. They're not a straight across thing. They just kind of sit on. They don't sit. They sort of like they have movement on your head. I don't know who else has them? There are shag bangs, like if you're Googling them now, they're razored. Do not buy a razor. I'm gonna show you how to do shag bangs. But it just means that
Let us see your shag bangs.
Okay. Oh, mine?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are mine. These were like razored out. I just got them yesterday, so I'm still getting used to them. But like, these are not the bangs that you want to do at home. Like the shag fringe, they have like a million names, but right now they're called shag bangs. These are, I saw like in the chat, it said, does any of this make sense? Does any of what I was talking about with the straight across bangs actually make sense?
The straight across bangs do make sense. The shag bangs we're trying to figure out.
Okay, so I'll just show you what they are.
Okay.
And you know, if you're like, I'm never gonna do that, then we just did them for fun. So everything I should have told you before, again, everything is in a pie section with your bangs. If you already have straight across bangs, just follow the lines that you've already have. But if you're like, if today you're like, I'm gonna give myself bangs, just, you hold the comb to your head, it lifts right where it lifts, and then you just make a triangle section. So I'll do that again, like, let's pretend. If you were gonna like literally give your self bangs today, you just hold the comb straight to your nose, and where it lifts straight off your head is where you want, how far back you want your bangs to go. All right, I'm gonna show you a shag bang, and you guys may or may not ever do this. So with the shag bang, you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna twist it, and instead of cutting straight across, I might need to wet her a little more. So instead of cutting straight across, you just we call this point cutting. And then that creates a little bit of a fringe there. So I guess that's what I mean, like a fringe bang.
Oh, so it's not straight. It's kind of.
Yeah, it kind of gives you like that little crookedy, you know, that piecey feel. Like, let me quickly dry her. It just gives it a piecey feel. You're doing. So you're doing this same exact motion, except you're doing a little point cut, and you can see she has little, now it's a little piecier. It's not straight across on your face.
Got it. That's, I like that.
Yeah, so does that, maybe the word shag was throwing people off. It just makes it where it's a little piecier on your forehead, and it just doesn't feel like you have straight across bangs.
Perfect. Thank you. That really helped.
Okay.
Dominique, we only have about 15 minutes left. I was wondering if you want to do the curly haired trim.
Yeah. The curly hair technique is so, it's super easy. All right. So a lot of people that have curly hair, what they hate the most is bulk. And you can do this dry or wet. Right now she's a little damp. And all you want to do is, I'll show you with this piece of hair. I'm going to spray her a little bit. Comb it with the thick side. Everything you want to do when you're cutting your own hair, always use the thick side of the comb. And you're going to twist. And twist it until like you kind of can't twist it anymore. And then you're going to take your scissors, and it doesn't matter if you, literally this doesn't matter if you hold it straight up or down. I'm going to hold it straight up so you can see, and you're going to just make notches. So there's 1, 2, 3. You don't really want to go too far up. And then you've just debulked your curl. And you can do that all the way around your head. You can do that just in the front, just wherever it's like driving you nuts. And you can also, while you're in there, if you wanted to like snip your end off, you could. But that's the easiest way to debulk hair, and you're never gonna mess it up. I mean, I suppose you could at some point, but again, like you're just doing, I would say like 3 snips. And I don't know if you can see.
How far do you do the notch? Like, is it just like a couple of hairs in, not all the way through, right?
Not all the way through, because you don't want to cut the hair. Like you don't want to cut the whole thing.
Right.
So when I pull this out, you'll see.
I think because your stove is black, I can't really see it that well.
See, let's see if I can do it maybe in front of my cabinet.
Yep.
Is that a little better? I know she has dark hair. So twisting. And you're just doing like little notches. Like I'm gonna move this really close. So that's it, just like little notches. And like that's how much hair you're gonna end up with. And it's amazing with curly hair that even that little amount is gonna completely debulk your curl. And that's like, when I think about curly hair, debulking is like the main thing. And a lot of people with curly hair end up having pyramid hair, and that gets rid of the pyramid hair, like as your hair grows out.
Okay. Would this work on shorter curly hair?
So this totally would work on shorter hair. This works on any curly hair. I just wouldn't recommend like going very far up. So let's say this gal, here's my, see, okay, so now that her bangs are dry, I don't know if you can see, they just look like a little piecier.
Mm-hmm.
So let's pretend this person has super curly hair and she has short hair. It's the same thing.
So you're actually cutting different parts of the hair.
Yeah, you're not
of the twist.
Of the twist. Yep, you're doing like 3. I always do like 3 notches. I don't know why I do 3 notches. I think like I took a diva curl class and they told me 3, so that's why I do 3. But yeah, but it creates, you know, what it's creating is it's just debulking the hair. So when I do that, I don't know if you can see, there are different pieces that are cut. So it just makes the hair not as poofy.
Mm-hmm. And you can do that to yourself in the back as well?
Yeah, because it doesn't matter if you're pulling your hair straight up.
I think that's out of camera range, but I think we understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, just don't go all the way through.
Right.
Think of it as like a rope, right? Like you're not cutting through the whole rope. You're just cutting through the first few sections of the rope.
Mm-hmm. So you can use this technique on curly hair and wavy hair, right? Would you use it
Yeah,
on?
I mean, on super straight hair, I would not use this technique. You will see it will look like Edward Scissorhands cut your hair. So you only want to do it on curly and wavy hair. And honestly, like on super duper, like on a pixie, if you were like, it feels a little bulky, I maybe wouldn't do 3, but you could go through and maybe do like 2.
Okay.
That would be like you know, you'd have to be a little brave to do it, but you could do it.
Mm-hmm. We're tough here, so we can try these things. If you're doing that technique, would it make it hard to make a ponytail because now you have all different length hair?
No. I mean, it would make it hard to do a ponytail if you had like short hair like this, but no, because you don't really have all different lengths of hair. What it does is it softens the curl. So instead of the curl going this way, now you've just made it shrink. So it will be fine. It's not going to make it, even if you were someone that would straighten their hair with like even I would say maybe not a flat iron, but one of those like Revlon brushes, you still wouldn't, because curly hair has a different curl pattern and a different texture than straight hair, you still wouldn't see it.
Okay. So we just have time for one more thing, and Patricia asked a really good question. Can you quickly show us how to do face framing bangs for long hair?
Yes. Okay. Face framing bangs for long hair.
Well, Patricia's hair, I don't know if you can see her, but like she's got maybe a bob cut.
I can't see her. How long, Patricia, how long is your hair?
It's just past her chin, and she's got side bangs.
Oh, okay. So, and are you wanting to clean up your side bang?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to pretend that she has a side bang already. Side bangs, they're not hard to clean up, but they're, you just have to follow the line. So like, let's say, with side bangs, right? So let's say when you pull your side bang, like let's say your side bang is going this way, right? To clean them up, just follow the line. Don't twist, don't do anything, don't pull them up, don't do anything like that. Just, you'll see when you pull your side bang to the side, you'll see that there's an angle. Just follow that line.
On both sides?
Like the easiest way to clean those up.
Okay. So on both sides you can do that. So like the longer side bang, okay.
And when you see a side bang, as soon as you pull it, and you probably see it when you blow dry your side bang or whatever, you'll see that it's always cut at an angle. So just follow the line. At a hair salon, they do a bunch of other stuff to a side bangs, but just to clean it up, just follow your angle. Okay. And it will already be there because that's the first part of a side bang.
Okay. And you were going to show us a quick face framing bang with her length hair, right?
Yep. For did you say for straight hair?
Yeah. Let's do straight hair.
Yeah. Let's do her. So you're going to take your comb, you're going to put it to your nose, and you're going to have it be straight out. And it's like, seriously, it's like not, it's literally like you're putting the comb to your nose and you're putting it straight out. And where the comb lands is where you want your bangs to start. So you just section those out, and you're doing your pie section again. You want them to stay just in the range of your eyebrows, like maybe don't have them go too far out. If they're in, I'm so sorry. If they're in the middle of your eyes, that's good. Like that's where you want to pull them. Sheared too much there. All right, what I'm about to do, you're going to be like, really? You're going to twist them. And then you're going to find where you want to cut them. So let's say we want her to have her bangs at her chin. And now you have long face framing bangs. It literally is with every single bang you're going to cut at home. You're going to find where the comb is from your head. You're going to see where you want it. You're going to twist them and you're going to cut them. And then if you're like, oh, I want those a little longer or a little shorter, then you just cut shorter. Just always start a little longer. But literally, so what the twist does is it just makes it shorter in the middle and it goes longer to the side.
Mm.
And now you have
and we have a really about the comb. Does it depend on how long your comb is?
No, it doesn't. I just have a long comb. It can be a short comb. You just always want to use the wide teeth because the wide teeth are more forgiving than
No, I mean when you're measuring from your nose to your part.
You want me to do it again?
Well, if you use a long comb, it's going to be a different length than
no. So it actually won't be a different length because really it's all about the shape of your face. So even if I was using, I can use a short comb. I have one here. It's going to end up, right? You're still putting it right to your face. It's still, when you bend it, it's still going to end up at the exact same spot. You could do it like a wooden spoon because it's all about where your nose is to where it lifts off your head. So it doesn't matter what length the comb is.
I don't think that makes sense to me because if you have a 6-inch comb, that's going to fall differently than like a 9-inch comb.
So let me see. Let me try to answer that. All right, okay.
Can you turn her head around so we're looking at her from the side?
Yep. So we'll do it. Can you see her from?
Yeah.
See her from the side?
Yep.
So you're putting the comb and then you're just lifting from the head.
So you're not putting the comb at the end of her nose. You're putting it actually.
You're using the comb just as a straight line. So it kind of doesn't matter like where the comb is because you're really just using it as a straight line just to get it straight from your nose. And then literally you're just lifting it straight off. It will always end up, I know it doesn't make sense, it will always end up in the exact same place.
I'm going to have to test this out.
Test it out. Because it literally will always end up in the exact same place, right? Because when I lift it, I'm lifting it here. You can see where it's coming straight off. Like it's not about where the comb ends. It's about where it comes straight off the head. So like when I put this here, when I see where it comes straight off the head is exactly there. I just dropped that. When I do it there, where it comes off the straight off the head, it's in the exact same spot. So it's not about where the comb lands. I should have said that. It's not about where the comb lands. It's about where it comes right off the head.
Okay.
It
But
might
how-
be a little practice to do it before you cut, but you could test it literally, like seriously, with a wooden spoon, and it will always be in the exact same spot.
How do you know how far back to how to decide how far back you go to pull the hair, though? You know, to put your part.
So how far back you want to
Yeah.
go is just where the comb ends straight off of your head. I don't know. I'm trying to think of how another way to explain it. I would say try it with a few different combs and like a wooden spoon and a paintbrush. And every time it comes off, you'll see exactly where it comes off the head. Like you just want it to be like a straight line.
Okay,
It's
so you're
because your head is a round object, and as you lift it up, it's going to obviously lift off the surface.
right. So you're actually talking about where it ends at the front, not the back.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Where it ends at the front and not where it ends at the middle.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that. That is exactly what I'm saying.
Okay. Does everybody understand? Are we good? Awesome. So we are about out of time, and I have just learned so much. I feel like I'm going to go back to this video and watch it over and over again so I can cut my own hair in a few weeks. Dominique, if you want to tilt your computer up, I just wanted to say a quick thank you to your face.
Can I add one thing?
Yes, absolutely.
The only products you ever need in your life are mousse and dry shampoo.
Oh, that's right.
That is all I wanted. That was the last thing I wanted to say. Like, if you wanted a shine product, that's fine. The only products you ever need in your life are any kind of mousse and any kind of dry shampoo. That's all I wanted to add at the very end.
Can you just comment a little bit on why?
So mousse on everyone's hair will always give you volume. It will give you volume, fullness, and sleekness. And dry shampoo is the most wonderful thing that anyone has ever created because it will give you volume and it will clean your hair.
Okay.
And of like every other product, like you never need it. You only need those two things, especially in quarantine.
Very good to know. Thank you. So again, I want to say thank you for doing this. And for everybody who came, I hope you all look chic and sleek in the next few weeks as we try these techniques out. And Dominique and I will be talking about doing some additional sessions. So keep a lookout on our calendar for those if we're able to bring them to you. Thank you, Dominique. This has been really wonderful and enlightening.
Excellent. I hope I made sense, and everyone have a wonderful Halloween because that's like happening Saturday.
It is. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week.
All right. Thank you.
Yep, you're getting a nice clapping ovation.